Coming up tonight on VCU InSight, the latest on the war in Israel and how Richmonders are reacting. An inside look at the new General Assembly building, and a VCU professor's plan to crack down on drug use behind the wheel. All this and more. VCU InSight starts right now. I'm Damon Hollenshed. This is VCU InSight. Thousands are dead on both sides as the Israel-Hamas war enters its 6th day. That count is expected to rise as Israeli rockets continue to bombard the Gaza Strip. InSight reporter Brian Fritz is here to update us on the situation.
That's right, Damon. This is a recent look at the Gaza Strip taken by Reuters. Right now, Israel is countering with what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling a complete siege of the Gaza Strip. That includes a possible ground invasion, as well as cutting off food, fuel, and medical supplies by Israeli forces. So far, the White House says 25 Americans have been killed, with many more being held hostage. Reporting for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Brian Fritz. Back to you, Damon.
Thanks, Brian. InSight reporter Anna Parada is getting reactions from local groups about the Israel-Hamas war.
Thank you, Damon. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin has ordered all flags on state and local grounds to be flown at half-staff following the Hamas attack on Israel.
Almost 6,000 miles away from Israel and the Gaza Strip, Richmonders are reacting to the violent string of events on both sides. Richmond City Mayor LeVar Stoney issued a statement calling the actions of Hamas pure evil and standing with Israel. In the statement, Stoney wrote, quote, "I unequivocally condemn Hamas and their unprecedented and horrific acts of terrorism against Israeli civilians and their disregard for the Palestinians living under their control in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian advocacy groups and Jewish Americans in Richmond say they just want peace."
People do not feel safe. People are not secure.
The Jewish Community Federation of Richmond held a vigil in solidarity with Israel on Tuesday night. Other groups in the area are expressing their opinions on the conflict. Nancy Ween, a Jewish American and co-founder of Richmonders for Peace in Israel-Palestine, offers up her solution.
The only way to solve this problem is to give everybody a feeling of safety and security and brotherly love.
Reporting in Richmond for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Anna Parada.
Henrico police are investigating an accident where 7 people were injured when a car hit the side of a building in Willow Lawn. It happened Monday morning. Police say a taxi van crashed into the side of an outpatient opioid addiction treatment center. 1 person injured in the crash was outside of the building, and 2 employees who were injured were inside the building. According to police, the injuries range from minor to life-threatening injuries. The taxi van driver was charged with reckless driving, and the police say alcohol is not believed to be involved. If anyone has any information regarding the Willow Lawn crash, contact the Henrico Police Department. For the first time in 6 years, the General Assembly building will be meeting at the Capitol Square. The old location had to be shut down because of asbestos, making the working conditions unsafe. InSight reporter Bridget Kelly takes us inside the new building.
The new General Assembly building opens its doors this week ahead of the 2023 elections. Now, the Virginia General Assembly will meet in Capitol Square for the first time since 2017. The $300 million project makes getting involved with state government more accessible for the general public. It's a 14-story building and can occupy over 12,000 people. The building now has a cafeteria, a press room, and House briefing rooms suited for news coverage. There are now additional committee and subcommittee rooms, giving more space for the public to give their input on policy. The clerks for the State House and State Senate say this is a long time coming. The project was pushed back 2 years ago because of COVID and logistical issues.
I feel like saying hallelujah. It's amazing to look around and think we had part in this, that we finally had a chance to input into a building from the ground up. It's a little emotional.
While the tunnel connecting the General Assembly building to the rest of Capitol Square is still under construction, the new building is expected to last for the next 100 years. Now, while they are still making last-minute adjustments and straightening out any kinks they may find, the Virginia General Assembly will hold its first session of 2024 in this building. Reporting in Richmond for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Bridget Kelly.
VCU is taking more steps to prevent hazing. InSight reporter Jason Tejeda Molina is on the campus to tell us more about this program.
Thank you, Damon. The program is called the Hazing Prevention Consortium. It's a coalition between multiple colleges and universities, including VCU and William & Mary. Founded by Stop Hazing, the 3-year initiative works with colleges to create specialized plans to address hazing on their individual campuses. Following the death of VCU student Adam Oakes in spring 2021, this has been an important topic for the school community. The Hazing Prevention Coalition also provides the schools and students with a peer network, meaning all of the institutions can communicate and collaborate with each other. Nationally, both chambers of Congress have passed the Stop Campus Hazing Act. One of the requirements is that universities must report incidences of hazing. Reporting for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Jason Tejeda Molina.
With Election Day a month away, voters in 2 Richmond precincts will now have to visit new locations to cast their ballot. Residents planning to vote on November 7th at Clark Springs Elementary School will now go to the VCU Student Commons, and voters who go to Booth Shaw Middle School will cast their ballot at the Hickory Hill Community Center. The Office of Elections says these changes are due to the presence of unhealthy air quality conditions at the previous locations. RPS has been battling issues concerning mold in both of these schools. Students continue to attend classes on both campuses. It's time now for the CNS News Minute, where we tell you the top headlines Capitol News Service is working on. CNS reporter Vali Jamal is in studio with more.
Governor Glenn Youngkin recently issued an executive directive to emphasize the looming impact of artificial intelligence in Virginia. Youngkin's order is to ensure AI is used responsibly, ethically, and transparently in state, government, and job creation and education. But institutions like higher education are only beginning to grapple with how to utilize and teach AI. A survey earlier this year found 60% of college students polled have not been taught how to use AI tools ethically or responsibly, and they are worried how AI will affect their careers and education. VCU student Ariel Andrews feels if assignments can be done by AI easily, then it's not testing those human traits.
I think the best thing to do for students is, instead of teaching them to fear or have a disdain for AI, is to more teach them how to work alongside it and use it ethically.
VCU held 2 forums earlier this year focused on the potential challenges and opportunities of AI, including ChatGPT. Another forum will be held on October 27th. Mental health advocates say the recently finalized Virginia budget makes significant investments in mental health services across the state. It gives millions of dollars to a number of programs. $10 million boosts mental health care training for pediatricians, $5 million will help bring mental health specialists directly to schools, and over $3 million goes to the Behavioral Health Student Loan Repayment Program, which supports a job pipeline of needed mental health professionals. Virginia fishers now have more time to harvest blue crabs this season. The harvest of Virginia's blue crabs is extended as the crab population trends upwards. The purpose of these changes is to promote efficient utilization of blue crabs and economic stability for the fishing industry. According to the Marine Resources Commission, the commission says crabs aren't overfished, but some scientists say the population still shows signs of stress. The number of blue crabs increased over last year, but still remains much lower than a decade ago. Terms like volley llamas, flapjacks, and dill balls sound like a bad joke, but are actually terms used in pickleball, a sport that's a smash hit in Virginia. There are 3 upcoming tournaments in October and new facilities opening. Virginia ranks as number 10 in the nation for pickleball courts. Bangers and Dinks Indoor Pickleball Gym opened in Chesterfield County in July. Performance Pickleball RVA opens in Henrico County on December 1st. The facility hopes to be the largest indoor pickleball space in the region. It may feel like pickleball just arrived, but this year marks the 58th anniversary of the sport. For more information on rules, tournaments, or to find a court near you, visit vcucns.com. Reporting for CNS, I'm Vali Jamal.
Scientists at VCU are creating a technology that just may save lives on the road. InSight reporter Bridget Kelly has more on how the prototype for a THC breathalyzer is in the works.
Right now, scientist Wagner Pacheco's prototype is a 3D printed chip infused with a special chemical. THC oil is then dropped onto the chip, and then a chemical reaction causes the chip to change color. The stronger the color, the higher the amount of THC.
Our idea is to create a solid phase that will react with the microparticles that someone, when makes use of marijuana, exhaled after they smoked.
The plan is to implement this chip into a device that works like an alcohol breathalyzer.
Our idea is to study the chemical foundation, the mathematical relationship to produce a number that will be related to the quantity of THC in the air.
The plan is this device will accurately differentiate between THC from CBD, the part of the plant that doesn't have psychoactive effects.
It's very important to differentiate CBD from THC to did not have a false positive.
But when can Pacheco's creation be used by law enforcement officers? Experts say there isn't a clear line on whether a driver is impaired under cannabis, since marijuana legislation is too new in the state.
I think we're kind of waiting for some technology to catch up with us because, again, we're so accustomed to being able to measure a 0.08 for alcohol, we're looking for some kind of a similar measurement with cannabis. Cannabis stays in your system a lot longer. So how do you know if this is a recent use or something that you used 6 hours ago?
Schrod says a new standardized field sobriety test would have to be put in place before utilizing a THC breathalyzer, and this may take years to be accepted by the courts.
That's where the use of technology is really important to make sure that people are treated fairly, that the courts have the information they need to make a proper determination about whether or not somebody violated a law, whether they were impaired.
While the device has not been physically engineered, it could look something like this. Pacheco and his team hope to have the prototype complete by 2025. Reporting for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Bridget Kelly.
More restaurants are coming to a development being built across the street from the Diamond. InSight reporter Mario Navarro is at the future site of what is being called Scott's Walk.
Thank you, Damon. Construction is happening right now for the site, and we already know there's going to be a Raising Cane's, Starbucks, and a Chipotle. But just recently added to the mix will be Marco's Pizza, as well as Toast. Thalheimer Realty Partners is in charge of the project. Scott's Walk is located across the street from the Diamond and next door to the Wawa on North Arthur Ashe Boulevard. Businesses are scheduled to start opening its stores in phases next year. The project also calls for residential and commercial spaces. On top of these locations, a HCA VA will be operational alongside opportunities to expand the site. The Raising Cane's restaurant has interest from VCU students ever since the popular chain was removed from Monroe Park campus last year. Reporting in Richmond and for VCU in the newsroom at VCU, my name is Mario Navarro.
Richmond's African American history is being remembered at the annual 2nd Street Festival. Thousands came to visit Jackson Ward. The historic neighborhood was once nicknamed the Harlem of the South. This festival featured 3 live music stages, food vendors, a marketplace, a kid zone, and an artisan row. A highlight of the event was the headline performance by the renowned Average White Band, taking the main stage on Saturday. Here's a look at the weather this weekend. The temperature in Richmond is expected to have a high of 74 and sunny on Friday, and a high of 65 with a 70% chance of rain on Saturday. You can check out the latest edition of VCU InSight on Thursday afternoons on our YouTube channel. For VCU InSight, I'm Damon Hollenshed.